Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is fundamental unit of life cell, we were talking about the different kind of cell organelles, and we had discussed what are the different structure and function of the different cell organelles. And in that, student, we have seen the function of the structure of mitochondria. We have seen the structure of a ribosome as well as the plastids, which include the different kind of pigments in it. Talking about the plastids, students, so we have seen that plastids are basically classified into three types, and that is leucoplast, chromoplast and chloroplast. Leucoplast, it is colorless, consisting of it mainly have the reserve food material in it. And if we talk about the chromoplast, it generally consisting of a pigment which is of a different color. That's why it is a colored pigment, that is chroma. So chromoplast is there. And finally the third one is the chloroplast. Chloroplast is what? It is that kind of a plastid present in all the autotrophs. Why it is present in all the autotrophs, students? Because they are only responsible for the process of the photosynthesis to occur in the plants. So generally they consisting of a pigment, and that pigment is green in color, which is called chlorophyll. Now it is the chlorophyll which is responsible for the formation of the food here. Talking about the structure of the chloroplast, students, so we have seen that chloroplast generally have when you look at the internal structure, it is a double membrane structure, an inner membrane consisting of a jelly-like material which is called as stroma. It is the stroma where the process of the food synthesis happen with the help of a carbon dioxide and water. When you look in the stroma, student, you will find that there are piles of coins are there, and these are stacked over one another and joined together by interstellar lamellae, which is also called as stroma lamellae, and they are connected to each other. Now each coin-like a structure which are stacked over one another is called as thylakoids. And together this thylakoid form granum. So one of the pile of a thylakoid is called as a granum, and when a lot of a granum they are formed, they are called as granum. Now these granum, they are connected to each other by lamellae, connected to each other by a connection that is called as stroma lamellae. Okay, so talking about the thylakoid, student, or granum is responsible for capturing, for storing the light in it. So it is responsible for trapping the sunlight in it. So this is the one thing in case of the chloroplast, but we know that it is the whole chloroplast consisting of stroma or thylakoid responsible for the process of photosynthesis to be carried out easily. So this is all about that of the plastids. Talking about that of the ribosome is what, students? This is the ribosomes is the next cell organelle that we had discussed, and ribosome is that which consisting of which is a storage sac. So it basically help in ribosome is what? It is responsible for the synthesis of protein. Okay, so wherever it is present, either it is present on endoplasmic reticulum or a free ribosome, everywhere it is used to synthesize the protein. So protein synthesis is the responsibility, or we can say it is done by the ribosome. So this is how the process occur in case of a ribosome, students. Actually there are two different types of ribosomes are there. That is 70S type and 80S type of ribosome is there. 70S type of a ribosome is consisting of two units, smaller unit and larger unit, and when these two units together forms the 70S unit. And 70S or 80S, both of them. So if it is 30 and 40S unit, then they combine to form 70S, and if it is 40 and 60, then they combine together to form 80S ribosome. Finally, vacuole. Vacuole is the next cell organelle that we were talking about. So let us see what is there in vacuole. We have already seen here that in case of vacuole, it is what? It is a storage sac, and its role is to store the thing, whether it can be protein, it can be amino acid, it can be minerals also. So it used to carry the thing, it used to store the thing in it. Then in case of a plant cell, the vacuole, the size of the vacuole is quite big, so it covers most of the portion. While in case of the animal cell, the size of the vacuole is very small and it's more in number as compared to plant cell. You see, most of the part of the cell is covered with the central vacuole, and it is about 50 to 80%, 50 to 90% of the cell volume. This is the vacuole. Now let us see that what is its function. Already we have seen that it is a storage sac. So obviously the function will be similar to that. Functions. The first function of the vacuole is vacuole store mainly cell sac. Mainly cell sac. Vacuole store mainly cell sac and provide turgidity and rigidity to cell, and provides turgidity and rigidity to the cell. It provides turgidity and rigidity to the cell, mainly covers the cell sac. Next one, many important salts. Many important minerals salts and other soluble substances many other soluble substances are stored within the molecule, are stored within the vacuole. Okay, so important mineral is there, salts are there, lot of soluble substances are there. These all are stored in the vacuole. Next is, that is, it maintains the concentration of the salt and water. It maintains the concentration of the salt and water in the cell. Salt and water in the cell. It maintains the concentration of salt and water in the cell. This is the role of the vacuole. Now, not only this, but it also helps in storing a lot of things like protein is stored there, students, amino acid is stored, vitamins are stored. So, these all are stored within that of vacuole. So, stored mainly cell sac, provide turgidity as well as it stores, vacuole also stores amino acids, proteins, sugar, and other organic acid, other organic acids. So vacuole, it helps in storing amino acid, it used to store protein, sugar as well as the organic acid. A lot of a vacuole is there in case of a unicellular organism, like amoeba is there, paramecium is there. So there, these vacuole work as a food vacuole. These vacuole work as a food vacuole. So, in many unicellular organism, cellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, etc. Vacuoles are found as food vacuole. Vacuoles are found as a food vacuole. You have heard about the engulfing of the food material by amoeba, and this will be stored into a vacuole that is called as a food vacuole, where all the process of the digestion take place, and finally during the assimilation the vacuoles disappear. But we can say here that the vacuole is, there are lot of organisms which consisting of a vacuole, especially that of the food vacuole. So these help in digestion of food material. In the digestion of food material. Also, these vacuoles used to carry the waste material outside the body. So, specialized vacuoles are also found. Specialized vacuoles are also found in these organisms. Which are responsible for elimination of excess of waste material. Elimination of excess of waste material. Elimination of excess of waste material from the body of the organism. From the body of the organism, students. Waste and water from the cell. So basically these are some of the functions of the vacuole. The first function that we have seen, student, that it is help in storing the mainly that of the cell sap, and as well as it is also responsible for maintaining the turgidity and rigidity of the cell. This vacuole also help in storing proteins, vitamins, amino acids, as well as the other organic acid in it. Then it will help in containing the important minerals, salts and other soluble substances inside it. It help in maintaining that of the salt and water in the cell, the concentration of the salt and water in it, as well as it is present in a unicellular organism as a food vacuole where the digestion of the food happen, and in such organism specialized vacuoles are present, and these vacuoles are responsible for taking or for eliminating the excess amount of water and the waste by the cell. This is all about that of vacuole. So, I hope you have understood the different cell organelles present in the living organism. Although students, there are a lot more, like we have discussed the ribosomes and liposomes, centriole is also there. But here in this chapter, it is up to vacuole. So, we will conclude that of the cell organelle. Now, let us try to understand here a topic, and that is called as cell division. Okay, talking about cell division. So, let us try to understand the topic, and that is cell division. The name itself says, students, cell division means dividing of the cell is the cell division. So, how the cell divide, how the division of the cell take place in different organism. Although here in this one we will going to study the kind of a cell division happen here in eukaryote cell, but whether it is a unicellular or multicellular, every cell used to show the cell division in a different way, but yes, it shows the cell division. Okay, cell division. Let us try to understand what is cell division, student. All organism, whether it is a unicellular or it is a multicellular, every organism used to show the division. They used to divide into new cells. Okay. So, the property, the special property in which the cell used to divide and form the other cell, that is called as cell division. So, the first point that we should write here, that whether it is a all organism, whether unicellular or multicellular, unicellular or multicellular, show a property, show a special property, is called cell division, is called cell division. It's called cell division. That is called as cell division, students. So, cell division, why it used to do? In order to reproduce, in order to produce the gametes, in order to replace the old and the injured cells, there is a need of a cell division. So, we can write here, this is the cell division in order to reproduce, and replace the old and injured cell, in order to replace or reduce the old or. Now, this cell division is also really important for all the multicellular cell, because they help in the formation of the new cells. So, we can say here that cell division in multicellular organisms is also very important. is also very important. It is also very important. So on the basis of that we can say, and reason is, students, that since it helps in the formation of new cell, formation of new cells, formation of new cells, it means new cell can arise from old cell. New cell can arise from old cell. Okay, so this is what, student, this is a cell division in which the old cell help in the, it used to divide and give the formation of the new cell, and it is important since it help in the reproduction, it help in the formation of the new cell, which is help in replacing the dead and the injured cell. Okay. Now basically the cell division is also divided into two types. There are two types of a cell division occur. The first one is mitosis and the second one is meiosis. So let us see what is mitosis and then we will try to understand the meiosis, student. Okay. So on the basis of the number of the chromosome a mother cell have. What is the mother cell, student? Remember, if suppose this is a cell, so this cell will get divided into two different cells. So this will be what? This will be the parent cell. Instead of that, we can use the other term, that is, it is a mother cell. This mother cell help or divide to give the two small cells, that is called as the daughter cell. Okay, so mother cell is responsible for giving rise to daughter cell. So here on the basis of the number of the chromosome a mother cell and a daughter cell have, we have categorized it into the two, and that is mitosis and meiosis. So, on the basis of number of chromosome in the mother cell, and newly formed cell, that is called daughter cell, and daughter cell, we have classified cell division are of two types. The first one is mitosis and the second one is meiosis. Mitosis and meiosis. Meiosis and mitosis. Starting with the mitosis, students, let us see that what are the points in case of a mitosis here. So I am removing the meiosis. We will understand it later. What is meiosis? In case of a mitosis, this is a type of a cell division in which there is a growth and the repair of the dead cells happen. Okay, so generally it is required, or this cell division is required for growth and repair of injured tissue. For growth and repair of injured tissue. Okay, for growth and repair of injured tissue. So this is the mitosis students. Here in this type of a cell division, one parent cell divided to give two daughter cell which is having exactly the same number of a chromosome that a mother cell have. Okay. So here, in case of a mitosis students, we can say that in this kind of a cell division, the number of chromosomes present in parent cell is same in the daughter cell. And the next one is that here in this division, one parent cell divides into two daughter cell. Okay, one parent cell divide into two daughter cell. Okay, so it produces two daughter cell. At first what happened, one of the mother cell used to replicate. Before it's showing the division, it used to replicate and then it will get divided into two daughter cell students. Okay, so the chromosome first duplicate and then divided into two cells. Let me draw the diagram in which this will make the things very clear. So, in case of a mitosis and meiosis, I am showing both of the structures students. At first, we were going to start with the mitosis. In case of a mitosis, what happened? There are chromosomes like this. Are there? This is what? This is the mother cell. Now, these mother cell used to form its own replica. It means it used to duplicate. So duplication of the chromosome happened here, and right now this whole will get duplicated. Okay, so now the duplication of the chromosome happens, students. This is the duplication of chromosomes, and finally it will get divided into two types, and these two types is, the first one is here, that is this one, in which it is having again the same number of a chromosome, and here also the same thing. So okay, so same number of chromosomes are present at both the sides. Okay, so these are what? These two are the daughter cell. Okay, mother cell is there and daughter cell is there. This one get duplicated, duplication of the chromosome happened, and finally the formation of the daughter cell happened in case of a mitosis. In case of a meiosis, the condition are not like that. Here it will shows the duplication for student. So duplication occur, and then this will, I'll show you that what happened afterward. Then instead of formation of the two daughter cell, there is a formation of the four daughter cell happen. So this will get divided into the one. Okay, one is like this, and another one is also like this, and again this will get divided into two, and this time it will have a half number of a chromosome. This is what, this is not in the case of a mitosis, but this is in the case of a meiosis. So in case of a mitosis, parent cell divided into 2, while in case of a meiosis it divided into 4. Here also the division occur in which the daughter cell, in which the duplication of the chromosome occur, but this is the first phase which is represented by M1, and this is the second phase which is called as M2. In case of a M1 phase, both of them are having, if it is 2n number of a chromosome student, this one is also having 2n, this is also having 2n, but further division it will become n, this will become n, this will also become n, and this one also becomes n here. Okay, so this is how the division happened in case of a mitosis and meiosis.